Good evening. I'd like to call to order the joint meeting of City Council and County Commission on Monday, June 21st, 2021. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. The Watertown City Council is meeting jointly today with the Cottington County Board of Commissioners. Each group will call their own meeting to order as is customary, and then I will call roll for our meeting. So, Commissioner Hanton, will you please start? Now try.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We do have a quorum of commissioners, so I will call our meeting of the Cottington County Board of Commissioners to order also. With that, I would look for approval of the agenda. A motion and a second. Second. All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Opposed? That motion carries. I will turn it back over then to Mayor Karen, please.
All right. Thank you. Could we have roll call, please, Kristen?
Albertson?
Here.
Bueller?
Here.
Hoyer?
Here.
Pauline?
Here.
Lallam?
Here.
Manti?
Here.
Rademski? Absent? Roby?
Here.
Vilhauer?
Here.
Y?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the public comments. Is anyone here that would like to speak in the open public comment period? If so, please approach the microphone. Seeing no one, we'll close the public comment period and look for approval of the agenda. So moved. Have a motion by Manti and a second by Vilhauer. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Okay. Now that we're both convened, we'll start the meeting. And the first item is to open the joint public hearing regarding emergency ordinances regulating medical cannabis within Cottington County, the City of Watertown, and Cottington County Area of Joint Zoning Authority, and within the City of Watertown. Everything about this special meeting is a little unique, so I want to clarify a couple of procedural elements. In this case, since we have 4 ordinances that regulate the same land use between the two of us, I think we should follow the agenda and just allow testimony on all of those ordinances when we open one public hearing. So council and board members, I'll ask that we allow all testimony from the public on these regulations inside and outside the city before we close the joint public hearing and discuss these ordinances amongst ourselves. And we have Luke Muller here. He's the county zoning officer and first district staff member. He will give a brief description of what is within the ordinance and why we're meeting jointly. Then we'll call on members of the public that wish to comment. Luke, would you start, please?
I sure will. Thanks, Mayor. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, council members, for the opportunity to speak with you. It's been a while since I've sat in this chair. I will try to keep things as brief as I possibly can. You know, I can ramble sometimes. The main thing that I want to start with is just go back through briefly procedurally, as the mayor noted. You're welcome to open individual public hearings, but I think it makes more sense probably just for all comers to go ahead and speak at the same time, and we can all listen to it however you want to look at it. But from my standpoint as a staff member, you're right. I'm senior planner with First District Association Local Governments. Working with multiple communities. I also serve as a zoning officer for Cottington County, and so that's why I'm here. I think one of the questions that often comes up is, why do we have a room full of people here and 2 elected bodies? And this isn't a test. I'll help you out with the answer because you're not obligated to have it memorized. The truth is, we don't have a joint board for this, what's happening here. What we have is a joint jurisdiction zoning ordinance, which is, as you're well aware, that's an ordinance that regulates land uses in an area surrounding the City of Watertown in Cottington County. We have established through that a joint board of adjustment which handles conditional uses, appeals, variances. They can't handle this, though. You're the legislative body in that case. In fact, the two legislative bodies that have to act individually, however, in the same room according to ordinance. So that is why we have to sit here, and for what it's worth, this is not an exercise in torture that you brought upon yourself. State law brought this upon yourself, that you've got to handle it this way. So that's why. So as I was getting at, since we had to meet together about this anyway, the idea was let's just cover the counties and the cities and the joint jurisdiction all at once. Let's handle it. And the city beat the county to the punch in setting up meeting schedules, so you win in hosting. So as far as the ordinance itself, in preparation of IM 26 becoming law, the First District Office has been working with several planners as well as South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance attorneys, among many other attorneys, municipal and county, to develop a model temporary ordinance for counties and cities to use that would temporarily address medical marijuana facilities. That would be places that grow, store, process, and sell medical marijuana. I can attest that the county and city's current zoning ordinances do not have regulations related to prohibiting or managing locations or licenses of medical marijuana facilities. Further, state law precludes counties from developing ordinances prohibiting medical marijuana dispensaries. This ordinance basically works as a temporary amendment to your zoning ordinance. It'll provide the county with some time to develop a comprehensive ordinance to address medical marijuana facilities like those that I mentioned. The temporary ordinance will allow for individuals to apply for a medical marijuana facility permit. However, the issuance of the permit is tied to the state promulgating or creating rules for these types of facilities, which is not expected to be completed until October. Therefore, if these ordinances are approved and an individual applies for a permit, the county or city's response, as appropriate, would be to deny the permit application based on the lack of state having promulgated rules. The state hasn't created rules, therefore we can't issue the permit. Remember, this practice will only last until the state has adopted those rules. So, a lot of good work has gone into this. However, the heavy lift is still ahead of us. This is me saying this is not the last time we'll be sitting together talking about this. I anticipate some form of model zoning or zoning licensing or licensing ordinance to be developed in the next few months and be vetted and reviewed and essentially having to be adopted here definitely before October, unless you want to just leave the ordinance as is and let things go. So we won't have a lot of time to review the detailed models once there are some models created, but we'll have to pick what we do and don't like. And I know that the city's worked on some review for long-term ordinances already, so I know you're well ahead of that. So with that, the only other thing I would mention is that this is one thing that was brought up at the Planning Commission, and I didn't really address it in the draft here or anything like that. As far as fees go, it's the recommendation of the First District and as well as both of your planning commissions. I'll speak, and I know that Stacy was there as well and could speak too, that we don't attach a fee to any special application if someone would walk through the door and ask to do so, because we don't want anyone to be out any money, honestly. If we know that there's a condition out there that hasn't been met, we don't want them to be paying money and then have to give it back or question why we took it when we knew we were going to deny it, when we knew that we didn't have the rules in place. So with that, I will assume that there's not going to be a fee, at least on the county side, and I'm assuming you probably will look at it that way unless you attach something later. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll see if the city staff has anything to add. Community Development Manager, Stacy Bungard, do you have anything to add?
I just have one thing to add. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Come to the microphone, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have one thing to add. I did talk with City Attorney Roby, and the city, I guess we're recommending as staff that we would not have a fee as well. Our current fee resolution is silent on that, so if it is silent in there, we would not charge a fee for an application.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Public Works Director Heath Von Eye, do you have anything to add?
No, I just thank Stacy for all her work with First District and Matt on the legal side and helping draft everything and coordinate everything here.
Okay, thank you. And City Attorney Matt Roby, do you have anything to add?
I do not, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then Commissioner Hanton, should I open the public hearing on behalf of both boards?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay, so I will go ahead and open the the public hearings on the county ordinance number 73, an emergency ordinance regulating medical cannabis in Cottington County, ordinances 21-24 and number 74, which are emergency ordinances regulating medical cannabis in the established joint jurisdiction area for the city of Watertown and Cottington County, and for city ordinance number 21-22, an emergency ordinance regulating medical cannabis in the city of Watertown. So if anyone is here to speak, this is your time. Before speaking, please state your name and which jurisdiction your comments are intended to be in reference to. So would anyone like to come forward and speak? Is there anyone online that would like to speak? Hearing no one, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. Following Robert's Rules of Order, before we have any board discussion, let's get motions on the floor by each organization to address the joint jurisdiction area.
So move.
City council members, can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 21-24? I have a motion by Councilwoman Manti. Is there a second by Councilman Y? And now I'll turn it over to Commissioner Hanton.
Okay, since this is our second reading, Luke, will you perform the second reading, please?
Sure, I will. This is the second reading of, and I just will point out, this is the customary process for the county. So this is the second reading of ordinance number 73. Actually, this would be 74 since this is the joint jurisdiction one. Ordinance 74, a temporary ordinance regarding the issuance of local medical cannabis establishment permits and or licenses in the area of joint zoning authority. I think as per usual for how the city handles that, I know Mayor Karen kind of noted that at the time of the public hearings.
All right, I have a motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Do we have any questions from council members or commission? All right, not hearing any. If there's no further discussion, then Cindy, would you call the roll call for the county commission on ordinance number 74?
Gable.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Johnson. Aye. Van Duzen.
Aye.
Hanton.
Aye.
That's 5 in favor.
All right, thank you. It looks like we're ready to vote too, unless the council, did you have any comments? All right, then Kristen, will you, well, I can do a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. All right, now I'll take a motion by one of the city council members to approve ordinance number 21-22, an emergency ordinance regulating medical cannabis in the city of Watertown. Have a motion by Bueller and a second by Albertson. Do any members of the city council have any discussion relating to this ordinance within the city limits? None? Okay. If there's no further discussion, then I'll do a vote on that from the city council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries.
All right, once again, this is the second reading of ordinance number 73. And Luke, if you will perform that second reading, please.
Sure, this is the second reading, as you noted, of ordinance number 73, a temporary ordinance regarding the issuance of local medical cannabis establishment permits and or licenses.
All right. Motion by Van Duzen, second by Johnson. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Cindy, would you like to call the, I guess, members of the county commission on the outside of the joint jurisdiction area? If they have any discussion, not hearing any, Cindy, call the roll, please.
Gable.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Van Duzen.
Aye.
Hanton.
Aye.
That's 5 in favor.
All right.
All right. Do you want to adjourn first?
Yep, I would look for a motion from the county commission to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
All right, and we have no need for an executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, and there being no further business, I declare the city council meeting adjourned.